Hey, what's going on? It's Romeo. We talked about those nicknames that you got. We talked about getting that first paycheck. And, of course, do you got any rules for when you're drinking? Let's see. I was at the bar last night, and, sometimes for those of you that go to bars a lot, they'll buy you a drink. You spend enough money there, they'll buy you a drink. So I have always been taught, house buys you a drink, you leave a tip. Right, and these other guys next to me bought him a drink. I didn't. The house bought him a drink. They just walked away. I thought that was kind of rude and tacky, but apparently Tyrone doesn't think so because you've already spent all your money. You've already tipped them. So why would you tip them when they're trying to give you a free drink? Well, just common courtesy. It's their business. You're their business. So, and it was the bartender. The bartender didn't own the bar. The bartender bought us a drink. So I thought, tip the bartender. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what your rule is. RD4254-7-7. Hey, Rome, this is Seahawk Lou. I agree with you. I agree with Steeler Tyrone. If the house gives you a free drink, no tip is needed. Then it wouldn't be a free drink. It's a gesture. You guys are tacky, man. Classless and tacky. What is wrong with you dudes? I guess that's why you're a Seahawk fan in Wasco. And you drink beat boxes. Your credibility's shot right there. Tyrone's got a little bit of credibility. Seahawk Lou, you have no credibility. So I don't know if Tyrone wants you backing him up. But yeah, it's the gesture. That's what you guys aren't thinking. It's the gesture of the bartender buying you a drink, but you tip them because, it's just a classy thing to do. RD4254-7-7. When it comes to tipping when the bartender buys you a drink, you guys say you shouldn't do it, but I think that's classless. I think it's tacky. You got to tip them. I was taught tip them the drink, what you think the cost of the drink is in a couple bucks. Alrighty, 4254-7-7. Yo, Rome, tip the cost of the drink. You would have spent that anyways. Tip the cost of the drink. You would have spent that anyways. What are you saying? Are you saying, I don't know, that's kind of a gray statement. I don't know what you mean by that. Hey, Rome, you absolutely tip on a drink the bartender gets you. Tip stands for ensure people's service. If they're giving you a proper service, then you tip them. Okay, and that's what I would think. That's the classy thing to do. Because you got to look at it like this, okay? When you go to a bar, that's you going out somewhere, okay? You're going to spend money, okay? That person is working to make money. So obviously, if you have money to go to a bar, you're spending extra money. It's excess money, okay, that you have. Extra money that you're spending on yourself or your friends or whatever you're doing. So why wouldn't you got to tip? You got to tip them. And it just makes you look classier. Hey, Rome, I'm working in Lemoore last night. The owner bought me a beer, and I still tipped the bartender. F the Steelers and Sea Chickens. Yeah, see, you're talking about Seahawk Lou has no credibility. Steeler Tyrone's got a little bit more credibility, but come on, it's just tacky. You got to tip him.
Romeo, Steeler Tyrone.
What up, Tyrone?
First of all, you can't say F if you don't say who your team is.
I think they were more so talking about you and Seahawk Lou, not based on football.
F the Steelers and F the Seahawks.
No, he was saying no. He was talking to you guys personally, not your teams.
Oh, okay. And on his thing, the owner of the bar bought him a drink. So, yeah, you don't tip the owner, then you tip the bartender. Because the bartender didn't give you a drink out of free will. The owner of the bar gave you a free drink.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? The owner?
The last guy from Lemoore, he said the owner at Lemoore bought him a drink.
Yeah, but the owner the owner might be the bartender also.
Well, if you're the owner, it's a different story. You making money both hands.
No.
Saying I have to tip. Well, don't nobody tip me when I deliver these loads.
If you can't afford to go out, you shouldn't be going out. especially
I
to
can
a bar.
afford to go out. My thing is, if you can't afford to tip the truck, why nobody tip the truck driver when we bring on
Oh,
these
Tyrone,
products
now
to
you
them?
just, why don't everybody's supposed to get tipped now? See, that just makes your argument even worse, Tyrone. You're digging a bigger hole for yourself.
How am I digging a hole? Look, if you go to work, you go to work. That's period. You go to work to earn your money. Period. Why do I need to tip you?
Because it's a service industry.
Everybody's services.
Oh, Tyrone,
You serving us music to listen to as we drive.
No, it's different because we have a different standard for service people like bartenders and waitresses. And for the most part, you tip a bartender so that you get better service and you get faster service.
I don't feel bad because I know I tip. I mean, I'm just saying at that point, if I get a free drink, I get a free drink. But I know I tip, so I'm not worried about it.
Okay.
Because I do a good job on tipping. I think I tip pretty good. I'm fair with it. I'm like you. If I get good service, you're gonna get a tip. If I get shoddy service, I'm not tipping that great. I might still tip you because you're working, but I'm not gonna tip that great.
All right, Tyrone. All right, later, man. Oh, Tyrone. Keep shoveling it. All right, 842-547-7 Romance Bar Etiquette. We're talking about tipping when the bartender gives you a free drink, right? I think you should tip. I think you give them the cost of the drink plus a couple bucks. I just think that's a classy etiquette to do. Some these guys the other night just, thank you, walked away. Kind of tacky to me. Good morning, Al. What's going on?
Oh, I can't deal with Tyrone. It's too early. It is too early. I think he rolled out of the wrong rock. And then he's got everyone on speakerphone. Just get on the phone.
Tyrone.
Yes, it is bar etiquette. I would rather, like you said, if you can't afford to go out, go buy yourself a 6-pack from the dollar store. Sit yourself at home. Why should we have to not tip them? I mean, they're making your drink. They're asking if you're okay. They keep coming back. They're not harassing you. They're doing their job.
Yeah.
Starbucks just stands there and hands you a drink and expects you to give them $1.
Absolutely. I do. I think. All right.
I don't see McDonald's asking for tips.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. You're right.
So the only people that are honestly getting rich out of this is Starbucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everyone wants a tip, and because half of these crazy women that just want to be seen with the Starbucks cup, they tip them $5 for a $5 coffee.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
Horrible. That is crack in a can.
All right.
Anyways, on another note, I was going to ask you, when are you going to start the spooky stories?
We'll do that next week. We'll do it next week.
All right. I got to hear a couple more Delano stories.
Okay. We'll get to it next week.
Talk to you later.
All right, 842-547-7. But see, here's the point about going out, especially drinking, okay, to a bar. To me, going out to dinner is kind of a necessity for a family, okay? So I understand a little bit when people decide how to tip a waiter or a waitress, the wait staff, right? Because I think every family should be able to at least go out to dinner once a month or once in a while because you need that break. Going out to a bar to me is more of an extravagance. It's something that you don't need to do unless you can actually afford to do it. And because she's right, you just go buy a 6-pack, sit at the house. To me, that you don't have to go out to a bar. So when the bartender buys you a drink, even though you've already tipped him, even though you've paid your bill, even though all that, the bartender's buying you a drink as a gesture of thank you, right? But yet you're still in a position to where it's an extravagant. It's an extra, okay? So you should still tip that person because they're working. So I would still tip them for that free drink. Cost of the drink plus a couple bucks. It just makes you. Gosh, I wish I knew exactly how to say it. It's just a classier thing to do because it just is. You don't just say thank you and walk away. No. Alrighty, 42547 Rome. I would say tip the normal 15 to 20% of what the drink costs, but definitely tip. They still made the drink, which is the service you're tipping for in the first place. Well, there you go. I mean, that's fine. You could tip the whatever percentage. I was taught tip whatever you think the value of the drink is, or if you know the value of the drink plus a couple bucks. Okay. Already 42547 Rome. If people can't afford to tip, then why are they going out? And and I know it's going to sound hypocritical, I guess, when I say this, but I think a little bit differently from a restaurant versus a bar. Okay? To me, a restaurant is more of a necessity that people need to get out and go eat once in a while. You don't need to go to a bar. Already 42547. When it comes to tipping a free drink, okay, the bartender gives you a free drink on the house. You tip them. You do. All right. I give them what the cost of the drink might be plus a couple extra dollars. Some of you guys are just saying, no, you don't tip. It's free drink. No, that's tacky. It's tacky. Have some class, man. Good morning, Al. What's going on?
Hey, Romeo, this is your girl, Deidre.
Hey, what up, Deidre?
Hey, I want to address that one thing about the Starbucks. I'm one of those girls that love all the Starbucks customers, but I don't tip the Starbucks people. I tip the bar because I'm there all the time and I love my waitress. and when we go have dinner, you get a tip too.
Yeah.
I mean, you give what you can for. You ain't got to keep up with nobody or whatever, but I think it's nice to give a tip. Like they said, they give you their service. I know that's their job, but they do other things with their service to make you laugh.
Well, and that's the thing. The people, a lot of these people who are so being jackasses about it have never had a waitress, a waiter, a waitstaff, a bartender who's trying to do a little bit more to make you either feel comfortable or just make you feel better about being out.
Right. And I go to just wing it all the time at the mall, and I love that girl there. I can't remember her name, but she knows she gonna get tipped good when she see us come in.
All right, Deidre. Thanks for calling.
All right, you have a good day.
Yeah. I mean, I go to the same bar most of the time. I go to one main bar, and the two guys there that one's a day, one's a night, so I see them both, and I don't even have to wait a drink. I just raise my hand, hey, and my drink comes. But that's because you tip well and you have conversations with them. I mean, you guys are looking at things the wrong way. Anybody that's talking about, nah, you don't got a tip, you're not going out and enjoying the full experience of being out. And it's kind of sad. Already 842-547-7. What'd you say here? Damn, I like Tyrone Rome, but he just leveled down with his tipping argument. I know. It's, I know. It just makes no sense. Rome, I got a tip. Make me my damn drink. You guys. Come on, man. You guys got to be better than that. You got to be better than that, all right? Don't be like that. They're working hard. Here's the thing about tipping when it comes to the bartender, what we're talking about. They work hard. A lot of bartenders, especially if you got good bartenders, work hard to serve you. And why you got to be cheap? You know what I'm saying? Why you got to be like that? RD42547, what'd you send me here? Hey, Rome, are you guys giving out mac and cheese tickets? I'm sure we'll give out some, but it's like, how much is the mac and cheese fest right now? You guys are killing me on this. I get it. Everybody wants something for free, right? But sometimes you got to come out of pocket. I'm just saying. All right? The mat, what is it? Hold on. Let me look and see what these. Now I got to pull up. I'm still working on dial up. So let me see how much does the ticket cost? Anybody know offhand right now? Tickets. Here we go. You should have bought them last week when they were only $64 or $65. Okay. You get an $80, okay, for the mac and cheese fest. You get all the free samples. You get all the drinks for one ticket. You get all the entertainment. So $80. Come on now, go pay your damn. Oh, it's $80, $80.05. Oh, that includes the $5 fee, the $5.05 transaction fee. So for $80, $80.05. That's kind of crazy. They must have, because of gas prices, that gas tax in there. Yeah, come on, man. It includes everything. Go buy some damn tickets. Stop being cheap. I'm sure we will give some away. Well, they got a VIP ticket, $132.75. Limited number of VIP tickets. VIP area includes catered meal, private beer and wine sampling area with shorter lines. Let's see what else they got at the VIP. All the advantages of VIP. Okay, you get admission, unlimited mac and cheese tastings, beer tastings, wine tastings. Okay. Yeah, so go. What is this? Oh, see? Now look. Starting May 9th, tickets go up to $90. So you want to get those tickets now. And VIP goes up to $153 starting May 9th. So where are we at right now? So go buy your damn tickets. BakersfieldMacandCheeseFest.com/tickets. All right? Don't be always trying to get some free stuff, man. Come on, Rome. I tip the vendors. Well, all right. Yeah, there you go. I'm sure we'll give some away, though, at some point, just to be honest with you. But if you don't win, you might as well buy them now while they're inexpensive. You can drink $80 in drinks alone, okay? RD42547. What'd you send me here? Hey, Rome. Hey, Rome. If these guys can't afford to pay for tips, they can't afford mac and cheese tickets. Yeah, you might be right about that. That's all right. I mean, I'm sure we'll give some away, but can't give them away to everybody. And by the time you get a chance to win them, they're going to be $150, and you're not going to be able to afford to go. Right now, they're like $80. So for $160, you and your chick can go to the Mac and Cheese Fest. Try all the mac and cheese you want. All the drinks, everything's included. It's a one ticket. Everything. It's a one. How do you say it? It's the one inclusive. Everything's included ticket. I don't know how to say it. Everything's included. You don't got to pay for nothing once you get inside there. At least I don't think so. Oh, you might have to pay for something. I think we're doing a dunk tank for the Ronald McDonald House. So I may be in a dunk tank. So you might have to bring a little cash for the Ronald McDonald House. I don't know if they got the square or not, but we'll see. RD42547. Just go to Bakersfield Mac and Cheese Fest and get your tickets. Stop trying to get everything for free, man. Sometimes you got to pay for something. We all got to do it. Some of us more than others. RD42547. Hey, bro, where do I get those Mac and Cheese Fest tickets at? You got to go to BakersfieldMacandCheeseFest.com. Like I said, right now I think they're $80.05. $80.05. Oh, that cracks me up. Yeah, so BakersfieldMacandCheeseFest.com if you want those tickets. It's what is it, May 9th? I don't even know when it is now. I think it's in May. Yeah, I think it's in maybe April. When is that silly thing? Hold on. Let me see when it is. I forgot. May 9th. Yeah, it's Saturday, May 9th. Okay. All right. 842-547-7 is Friday. I got a couple of things I want to tell you about that I thought was funny. All right. Let me, this is funny. So the neighbor kid next door, right? He, I think he's 16 or 7, might be 17 now, but he went and got himself a job. And he was all excited yesterday. He came by the house to tell me. I was in the garage, and he stops by. Now, you got to remember, this kid's lived next to me for decades, or over a decade, right? So this kid's been around. He's all excited. He got a job. He got his first paycheck. He tells me, he goes, Rome, I got my first paycheck. I'm like, cool, man. He was so excited. I go, how much you get? He goes, $312. I said, man, all right, $312. He goes, yeah, Rome, I'm rich now. And look, I know all you jackasses out there are going to, oh, yeah, that's not rich. But come on, man, he's a kid. He got his first job. He got his paycheck. He's rich. And I was so excited for him. I'm like, man, that's awesome. You going to frame your first paycheck? He's like, nah, man. I go, where's your money? I go, you got your money with you so you can walk around, the weekend's coming. You got your flash cash. He didn't even know what flash cash is. How your kids don't know what flash cash is? That's just sad. That's just sad that kids today don't know what little flash cash is, okay? And, so I had to explain to them what flash cash was. And I was just thinking, man, you remember the first paycheck you got? Do you remember the first time you got a paycheck where you actually felt like you were making some money? And it's all a matter of perspective. I remember my first paycheck I got where I looked at it and I couldn't believe that I had enough money to actually pay the bills I needed to pay, to put a little in the bank, and to spend a little money on myself. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. So I understand how the neighbor kid feels, man. He's excited. It's a good day for him. But yeah. So anyway, I just thought about that. Do you guys ever think, I know some of you are rich. I know some of you, I know some of you got so much money and you're entitled little jackasses, but you know what? It's exciting. The first time you start making your own money, no matter how old you are, whether you have to do it to live or whether your parents, you just do it because your parents want you to learn responsibility. But when you start having your own money, whether it's a little bit or a lot, whatever it is, it makes you feel good about yourself. It really does, because that's you. You did that. So I was excited for the kid. All right, 842-547-7. It's an exciting time. You guys remember that first check? You remember your first paycheck? You remember how much it was for? You remember the first time? There's a couple of things going on here. You remember the first time that you had a little extra cash, your paycheck meant something to you? It was like, to you, it was some real money. Because you felt comfortable, you felt at ease because you had enough to pay your bills or to pay what you had to pay, and then you had that little extra to do what you wanted. And that is an exciting time. It really is. And it's a great feeling that you did it. You made it, Before you get jaded, before you get stuck with bills and taxes and all this other stuff that you complain about, the neighbor kid, he got his first paycheck. First paycheck ever. $312. He came to me yesterday. Rom, I got my first paycheck. It's so awesome. I'm rich. He was rich. For $300, he's rich. Could you imagine having that feeling in your life again? When you get that first paycheck and you do whatever you want with it, right? Already 42547. Yeah, Rome, I understand what you're saying, but why didn't you explain to him about taxes and all that stuff? Because why would I want to burst this kid's bubble? Why do you guys got to be so jaded and a bunch of jackasses? The kid was excited. He don't got to worry in the world. He just got his first paycheck, money that he earned himself. He had to go get that money. He didn't get it from his parents. He went and got that money. Why am I going to burst his bubble? Why am I going to say anything negative to him at that point? What is wrong with you people? So no, I didn't explain. I feel excited for the kid. It's Friday night, right? It's Friday. Yeah, it's Friday night. He can go out. He can go out with his buddies and spend his own money that he earned. Even though he won't, he'll get it from his parents. But that's not the point. I did tell him, though, it was kind of funny. I said, you got to go get you some flash cash. He goes, what's flash cash? I said, well, back in the day, and guys still might do it today. Back in the day, guys would go, they would cash their whole paycheck. And so they'd have a fat stack of money when you're going out to the club. So the girls think you got a lot of money, right? And that was flash cash. You don't spend it all. You just got it, to show. It's just a prop, okay? I said, go get you about 50. Go get you about 50 singles and maybe a 20. Or you might be able to put a C note up there. Go get you about 20 singles and a C note. And you just walk around with it. Go looking for girls. He didn't get it, but he's a dumb kid. He don't understand. But he got a job. He got his paycheck. So the neighbor kid, he just got his first paycheck. Came to tell me about it because he's rich now. He got it was over $300. So he told me he was rich. I don't know how many of you remember how exciting it was to get a first paycheck. But it's exciting. It really is exciting. And something to be proud of, something to be, and yeah. Already 4254777. Yo, Rome. Why do people want you to explain something to a kid that maybe should be explained by his parents? People sure can be so stupid. Yeah, I know. People are stupid. That text is in reference to why did I say anything about taxes to the kid? No, because I'm not negative. It's not a negative thing, man. The better question is, why do you got to be so negative and rain on somebody's parade? That would be my point. And if the kid wants to come by and say how happy he is, he got his first paycheck, okay, be cool. There's no reason to say anything negative at all. He's just a kid. We've all been there. And some of you, and I'll be honest with you, some of you probably had those parents. I'm going to bet my dad probably said something like that to me about taxes. Oh, man, look how much taxes. And it doesn't matter. You don't need to say anything. And his parents can explain it to him if they want, but the kid just wanted to tell somebody that he's rich, and it's money he made. Nobody gave it to him. So you never been in that position? It's exciting. It feels good. It makes you feel good about yourself, that you did something. You've accomplished something, right? Already 4254777. Hey, Rome, with gas prices today, $300 ain't no what? Are all of you just a bunch of jackasses? Everybody listening right now? You're just a bunch of clowns that are being negative Nellies right now? What do you care? Kid, what does he care about gas prices? You guys are ridiculous. You guys are absolutely absurd. RD 4254777. My God, get a hobby. Get something. Be happier with your life. But the neighbor kid's rich though. He got his first paycheck. I hope we don't spend it all this weekend. All right, 8425477. Hey, Romeo, I remember when I got my first paycheck, I was so excited. I went home and told my mom and dad I wanted to take them out to dinner. So we got in the car, we went to dinner. When the check came for the meal, my dad wouldn't let me pay for it. He said, nope, that's your money. You need to spend it on something for you. Sounds about right. Way to go, Dad. Yeah, I mean, I probably wouldn't have you shouldn't have let your kid pay. You're right. That's a good, and the problem is you guys, you moms and dads, this just goes to these negative people that are texting. You're just so damn cynical. And just because your life sucks or you're cynical about life, you're just going to push that onto your kid. I mean, look at the difference. What this person just sent me. They got their first check, was excited to take their parents out, right? Dad still wouldn't let her pay. My mom and dad still won't let me pay when I go out with them. So it's just, life gets cynical. I get it. But at least give your kids a chance to enjoy, for a little while. Don't make them cynical as a teenager. That's just stupid. It's Romeo. It's Hot 94.1.
What's up, Romeo? Raider Rob here.
Hey, Rob. What's going on?
What's going on, bud? I like to say congratulations to the young man. But most importantly, did you tell him not to have a girlfriend or he won't have no money?
No, I taught him to get some flash cash and how to go get a girl. Shoot. He got his own money now.
Once he gets that girl, he's going to lose that money.
No. No, see, there's no reason to be like that. Get out of here, Rob. I'm not going to tell the kid that. Get out of here. He's got plenty of time to learn that. RD 4254777. Yo, Rome, I love that the kid took his parents to dinner. And I'm not going to lie, I thought for sure he was going to say the check was not enough to pay for the bill, but that's pretty cool. Yeah, that is a good story. That is a good story. But do you guys remember getting your first paycheck? I mean, it's an exciting time, It really is exciting. The first time that you made your own money and it's yours. Yo, Rome, congrats to your neighbor, bro. It's hard to get kids out here out of the house nowadays. Sounds like this kid's on the right track. Yeah, he is. It is. It's hard. I mean, I think you got more kids. Well, I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe Big Boy's right. Maybe it's hard to get him out of the house to go to work. But, you know, you got to be excited. You guys don't, I mean, getting your first paycheck is exciting. I know a lot of you guys are so cynical now, and you moms and dads are just jackasses to your kids, but it's exciting to get your first paycheck. It really is. Hardy 4254777. How many of you remember your first paycheck? Where was it? Do you remember how much it was for? The kid next door, the neighbor kid, got his first check. He was so proud of himself. Said he was rich. He got $300. Came to tell me he was rich now, which he is. He is. For him, he's rich. It's a matter of perspective, and in his world, and he's only 16 or 17. I don't know what he is, but he is. Alrighty, 4254777. Hey, Rome, growing up, all my dad ever tried to do was teach me responsibility. And when I got my first paycheck, I was 16 and a half when I started working. I got my first check. My dad started charging me rent, $40 a month to live at his house. Wow. At 16 and a half, your dad started charging you rent. Your dad's a jackass. I'm going to tell you right now, your dad is a jackass. What's your relationship with your dad right now? Is it good? So my dad started charging me rent, and I ended up paying him. So that's what I did with my paychecks, Rome. That's just a punk move. I ain't gonna lie to you. That's a punk move. Already 4254777. All right. What do you guys remember your first paycheck? How old were you? Do you remember how much it was for? I don't remember how much my first paycheck was for, to be honest with you. And I'm still trying to remember. I remember where I worked. Yeah. All right. 4254777. So, your first paycheck. You guys remember it? You had your own little bit of money. Probably a teenager. A lot of us went to work when we were teenagers. What you remember? You remember how much it was? You remember what you did with it? This is kind of funny. Somebody says, "Hey, Romeo, I have an older brother. He was 16 years old when he got his first job. Now, our parents were kind of strict on us. They didn't let us eat a lot of snacks or a lot of sugary treats growing up. So once my brother got his job, my dad said, if he can buy it himself, then he can have it. So my brother went out and bought a couple of boxes of Hostess cupcakes. You remember those? I go, yeah, I remember those. And we had them in the cupboard. Well, my dad ate one day. My brother comes home from school and asked who ate his cupcakes. And he said, I told him Dad had one, and he was mad at our dad for eating something that he bought. Oh, that's pretty funny. Oh, how did that play out at the end? Good morning, y'all. What's going on?
Hello, Romeo.
Yeah, what up, man?
Yeah, so I just heard right now that you think that Dad charged them $40 a month.
Yeah, that's what the guy texted me. That's cool.
Yeah, that's crazy. I've heard some parents say that they do that, and then like once the kid moves out, they give them all the money back, like they saved it.
Yeah, I've heard that before, but that's stupid.
Yeah, but it's crazy. Like his first paycheck, he's like, "Come on, give me the money now."
Yeah, that's ridiculous. I mean, kids, you shouldn't do that to your kids. They got plenty of time to get cynical and learn about the real world. You don't need to start when they're teenagers.
My first paycheck, I got $20 working at a car wash when I used to live in LA.
Mm-hmm.
I went right down the street to an arcade, wasted it all.
My man!
I didn't give no chance. I didn't give no chance to nothing. I went straight to the arcade across the street.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. That's great, man.
50 cents per car. That's what I used to get paid.
And blew it all on Donkey Kong.
Yup.
842-547-7. Hey, good morning, Rome. The bread man here. I remember my first paycheck was $480 working at $3.35 an hour in the early 80s. I wanted to buy the world. You ain't lying, man. That sounds like a good check right there. Hey, Rome, I remember my first paycheck back in 1999. Asked my mom to drop me and my girl to the marketplace. Took her to Applebee's and a movie. I thought I was balling. You were balling. Don't thinking about it. You were. Good morning, Hop. What's going on?
Hey, what up, Ron? How you doing this morning?
I'm doing fabulous, brother. What's going on?
It's good to hear. Hey, I was going to ask you going to do that Easter egg hunt next week or something?
Yeah, we're going to do it next week. Yep.
That sounds good, man.
We
All
will.
right, I'm going to bring you that ticket.
All right, man. Yeah, we'll hide the eggs next week.
Thank you.
All right, brother.
Cool.
All right, 842-547-7. Hey, Rome. I worked at a golf course for my first job, making $6.25 an hour. So my check was a little over $380. I thought I was rich back in 2000. You were, though. It's a matter of perspective. That's the thing that you guys don't understand. You were. It's exciting. That's why when the neighbor kid said he got $300 for his first paycheck, he said he was rich. He was. He is. You know? I mean, he don't got to deal with the same things as a lot of us got to do with house payments and car payments and gas and all that food. He's good, man. All right, 842-547-7. Hey, Rome, my dad was the best. Let me tell you what happened. Oh, you took it. He goes, okay. I got my first paycheck, and I was so excited. I was taking my girl out to the movies, and my dad had to drive us. So I'm with my girl. I got a little money in my pocket, got my first check. I was going to take care of her. When we were getting out of the car, my dad slipped me a 50 and said, son, here you go. I want you to have enough money for your date. Oh, that was nice. You know, some parents are just cool. Some parents are not trying to jack their kids' money. That's awesome. You guys remember your first paycheck? What'd you do with it? You remember how much it was? Hey, Rome, this is Seahawk Lou. I remember my first check. It was government assistance paycheck, but I was so excited I spent it on Black and Mild and food. Black and whatever. I don't know. I know sometimes you guys try to be funny, but it's not. You're not funny. I mean, getting your first paycheck is pretty cool, man. When you're a kid, especially when you're a kid, man, and you don't have life's bills, that's just all your money. I mean, that's very exciting. You feel like you're the richest person in the world, man. You finally got some money that you didn't have to ask your parents. There's no strings attached to the money that you just got because you worked for it. And that's pretty exciting. That really is. RD425477. Hey, Rome, let me tell you about my first check. My first check was $350. I was so excited. I went home and I told my mom and dad, let's go out to dinner. Yeah, that's cool. And I thought I was a baller. I wanted to go out to have a steak. My dad used to always take us out for steak dinners, and so I was going to be like my dad. Once we got the bill, I realized I didn't have enough money. My God, how much was the steak dinner? I mean, who did you invite? Or anyway, I looked at the check, and my dad could see the expression on my face, so he grabbed it from me and says, son, let me see that check. I think it might be wrong. So my dad gets up from the table, goes and talks to the workers, and she comes back with another check. That was about half of what the original check was. It took me a while to figure it out that my dad actually went and paid part of the check for me, but I still got to buy dinner. I thought that was pretty nice of him. Yeah, That's great. Already 42547-7. Romeo, I'm rich. I have $5. Last week, someone threw a sweater in the back of my truck. Took sweater out, checked pockets. It had $5. It had $5 $1 and a 20. I feel rich. Put it for gas. Okay. I don't know. Sometimes you guys are, either autocorrect or I need to learn to read. I don't know which one. You know that last story that I just read you about the kid who said he got his first paycheck. He wanted to take his parents out for a steak dinner, and he realized how much it cost him. And then his dad stepped in, and according to the story, the dad stepped in and said, "Oh, son, I think the check's wrong." So he said his dad went and talked to the restaurant staff or whoever, came back with a new bill that was less. And the kid got to still buy the dinner, but not probably blow his whole paycheck or whatever the case may be. Dad paid half that bill, or dad came out of pocket to make sure his kid could still save face, right? Do you guys, have you ever thought about that? I mean, when we talk about growing up, a lot of us remember, well, not necessarily me because I had great parents, but a lot of you remember the times you got in trouble. A lot of you remember the times that you deserved what you got, but you blamed it on your parents because you were a dumb kid. But like that story right there, do you guys realize or remember the things that your parents did for you because they loved you so much? And I don't know how to say it, but that's a perfect example of a dad doing something for his kid. His kid probably believed that the bill was wrong. And he said he found out later. But at the moment, he had no idea what his dad was doing for him. No clue. And then you find out later, usually you find out when you're older, that, hey, my mom and dad were really had my back. And some of the things that they did were really sweet and really nice. But at the time, you didn't know they were doing it, you know? Like when we were kids, my grandfather was a hard ass on us because my grandmother loved us to death. There's 6 of us within about 2-3 years apart. And my grandfather, he was an old military man from the South, and he was hard on us, you know? But when my grandma came around, boy, he had to just he loved us. Don't get me wrong. He loved us. But we never realized how in his way, he would tell us. He got up at 5 a.m. in the morning and he went and met his friends for coffee and breakfast at McDonald's, when McDonald's was the breakfast spot. And he would tell us, hey, if you want to get up at 5, you can roll with me. And we would get up at 5. 6 grandchildren. We wanted to go to McDonald's. We didn't care what time it was. We get up at 5. And boy, he'd take us to McDonald's and do get whatever we wanted. But in his way, that was his way. And we didn't realize it. Well, but I have cousins that still are like, remember when Grandpa used to make us dig ditches and Grandpa used to make us do yards? And I'm like, yeah, I remember all that. But do you remember? Yeah, you remember he'd make us get up at 5 a.m. if we wanted to go? Yeah, I remember that. You never thought that was his way of showing how much he really loved us? Not we had to get up at 5. But you look at those things when you look at your parents or your grandparents and you're like, maybe they did really love you. Even though they showed it in a way that you thought was negative, it really wasn't. Yeah, I don't know. All right, 42547-7. Hey, good morning, Romeo. I remember my first paycheck was about $380. I just gave it to my mom. She didn't want it, but I insisted because I seen the struggle. Anything to help her. So she ended up taking it. I mean, you can't argue with that either. You can't argue with trying to help out around the house. I mean, life's tough sometimes. But, like, you must have had a good mom if she said, I don't want it. What are you talking about, Rome? Nice things your grandparents did for you? Well, things that your parents, your grandparents did for you that you didn't really understand them at the time. But they were nice. And you remember them later. When you get a little older, you understand what was going on, right? All right, 84254-7-7, because I remember my grandfather, there was 6 of us grandchildren. And my grandfather used to always say, run down to the liquor store and get me a beer and some cigarettes. That back then, Rome, they just had to write a note. Yeah, I remember that day. You could write a note. For some reason, when I did that for my grandparents, you had to take a license. You had to actually take their ID with you. I don't know if that changed or when that changed or not. Anyway, Rome. My grandfather, nobody ever wanted to go except me. I would always go. So my grandfather would always give me at least double what it cost, so I had a little money in my pocket. Is that what you're talking about, Rome? Well, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Things your parents or your grandparents did for you. My grandma always slipped me a 20. Every time I left her house, she'd slide me a 20 in case you need a hamburger. Already 42547-7.
Man, you can't be saying all these stories. I'm driving. I'm getting teary-eyed over here. I'm 60. I'm getting weak now, man. I heard that one about the check, and I remember my dad doing something for me like that. I needed this motorcycle. I wanted it, and I didn't have enough. And he said, let me go talk to him. So I guess he slipped in some of the money while in the garage, and he goes, yeah, I'm going to sell it to you for that price,
It's incredible. But just maybe it's the logic I'm thinking of. Because a guy was telling me a story a couple of weeks ago. His dad lived across the street from that school, some school in Hanford, the middle school or the grammar school. And I guess he says, my daughter came home and the grandpa for book day. Remember when you guys would go to book day and you take your money for book day?
Yeah.
And I guess the grandfather asked the little girl, well, did everybody get a book, Mia? And she said, well, no, Grandpa, some of the kids couldn't afford it. And I guess the grandpa walked over and wrote a check and said, make sure everybody gets a book. I guess it's just people think, I guess it's just the logic. I guess these people used to have to justify, like my grandmother would always tell me, here's money in case you get hungry. Well, I had plenty. I was never not going to get not fed. You know what I'm saying? But logically, that was her way of giving me money and justifying it to herself, I guess.
Absolutely. Anyway. Slipping you that 20 all the time, you know what I mean? And, but I can understand that father doing that, and I just thought, man, I sure miss my pop.
All right, Gil.
I sure miss my pop. I had to pull over twice, man. I said, this guy's killing me.
I guess we'll have to go back to making fun of dumbass Lewis so everybody stops crying in their car. All right.
Later, brother.
Later. I mean, do you ever think about the night you just sit there and you think about the things that you do, that your parents have done for you that, at the time you didn't know it and how great it was, or, you figure it out later, or maybe like I'll tell you, I wouldn't be in Bakersfield. When I moved to Bakersfield, not one person in my family was supportive. Not one person said, good luck. Not one person said, I hope it works out for you. Not one person wanted me to leave except my grandfather. My grandfather, he said, I lived with him when I was in college. And I said, Grandpa, I'm leaving. He said, okay. He goes, you, and I probably wouldn't have came if it wasn't for him, because he said, son, this is your home. I live with you. You can always come here, no matter what happens. If it doesn't work out for you in Bakersfield, you just come right here. You can live with me again. I'll take care of you until you figure it out. And who's not going to try it? Who's not going to take off with, you got a safety net. No, he was the only one. And then he'd call me every week. You ready to come home? Nope, Grandpa, not yet. And never went back. But Just things you think about when you, your mom and dad or your grandparents or, things you figure out later in life that they were on your side and how they did it. RD4254-7-7. Hey, Rome. Gilly's not lying. You're going to have everybody this morning doing tequila shots and listening to Ramon Ayala thinking about their grandfather. or their dad. Yeah. Sometimes you got to remember the nice things, man. With this crazy ass world that we live in right now and all the negativity that you see, even we talk a lot on the show about negative stuff, cheating and things like that, and crazy nonsense that happens to you. But sometimes you got to just kick back and think of some of the positive things, man. Some of the sweet things that people did around you that loved you. You know what I'm saying? RD4254-7-7. Hey, Rome, my dad was a single dad to myself and 2 siblings. Well, my dad would always eat beans and eggs, even on Fridays when he would buy us Happy Meals. I found out that his favorite fries were McDonald's fries, but because we were tight on money, he always ate beans and eggs to be able to afford the McDonald's Friday. I try my best to stop and buy him fries every time I visit. Over here crying. A lot of us have taken our parents for granted or our grandparents for granted, and you don't realize until you realize, right, what was really going on. It happens. McDonald's might be the best fries, though, still. I don't know if they're still the best fries. They might have been the best fries, though. All right. 84254-7-7. I could tell you 100 stories about my parents and my grandparents and all the nonsense they've done for us as kids, still as adults. Yeah. All right. 84254-7-7. Hey, Romeo, I can't believe you said that about Vicente Fernandez. My husband and his 2 siblings, he has a brother and a sister. Every time they get together, they start drinking, and they start drinking, listening to Vicente, and they start crying about their father. He has passed away, but they start talking about the things he did. And well, that's just what everybody does. That's just the thing, man. If you ain't, that's just the thing. That's just what you do when you Mexican and you're with your siblings or your tias or your tios or your cousins. Vicente comes on, you take a couple Patron shots, and then all of a sudden you're crying about somebody. That's just what you do. RD4254-7-7. Hey, Romeo, my grandma used to save up and drive us to Taco Bell when we were small. We lived in McFarland. And she would take the back roads to Delano because she was afraid to drive on the freeway. Well, I can't lie. Well, I could, but I'm not going to. My grandmother did not have to save up. Okay, my grandmother and my grandfather were both had plenty of money. Okay. But my grandmother, every time I would go see her, she would take me to Toys R Us. And this is the good old days. Literally, I was in the back seat with my grandma's dog. Her other dog was in the front seat. And my grandmother had a glass of wine and a beer in her cup holders driving me to Toys R Us. Grandparents were crazy. Hey, Romeo, let me tell you what my grandparents did. Now, my grandparents didn't have a lot of money. There were 4 of us grandchildren. My grandmother wanted to take us to Disneyland. And Rome, Disneyland is expensive, especially when you don't have a lot of money. So my grandmother told my grandfather, we're going to Disneyland. They saved up enough money to get us into the park. My grandmother packed lunch for everybody. When we got to Disneyland and it was time to eat, My grandmother said we could go to the car and have lunch. I got food for everybody. My grandfather said, no, you can't come to Disneyland and not have Disneyland food. So my grandfather ended up buying us food. I thought they didn't have no money. We ended up eating the food my grandmother made for us on the way home. It was such a great time, Rome. Yeah, that's it's funny. That's another funny thing about grandparents, right? Is one of them wants to do something for the grandkids and the other one is completely against it. And then once the grandparent, the one who's against it gets where once they cave. It's funny how the one of them that doesn't want to do it for the grandkids always seems to end up caving in. RD42547. So I thought I think I've told you over the years nicknames, right? You got a nickname? I think I told you in the past that they used to call me when I lived on the reservation, they would call me Fish Lips because I had big lips. And it was embarrassing. It wasn't a cool nickname. You know, it was a little mean, I think, until I got into college. And then, it wasn't mean anymore. So, you have a nickname? What is your nickname? How'd you get your nickname? RD42547. We were playing golf in the Honor Flight tournament earlier this week, and one of my buddies, we always call him Pods because we're golfers and we watched that movie Tin Cup, so we call him Pods. And one of my other buddies was like, why do you call him Pods? What does that mean? And so, yeah, you get a nickname. Somehow it's crazy. You never know how you're going to get your nickname, right? Who's going to give it to you? What is your nickname? RD42547.
Hi, Romeo.
Yeah, what's up?
Good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing? I'm on my way to work.
Well, good. I'm glad you got a job. Gas prices be killing folks.
It's killing me. Yes, it is. Well, I really, glad I got in. My nickname was, you know what my nickname is?
What?
They call me Pingüina.
So, wait, say that one more time?
Pingüina.
Well, what is that?
Like penguin?
Penguin.
Yes. Since I was small and up to this day, they still call me Pingüina.
That's not a bad nickname. That's actually not. It's kind of a cute nickname, actually.
Yes. So since I was small and up to this day, my aunt and I'm 60 years old and they still call me Pingüina.
Well, at least you got a good nickname. Mine was stupid.
Well, no, it's not.
All right. Thanks for calling. Good morning, Don. What's going on?
Hey, what's up, Rome?
Hey, Ruben. What's up, man?
I know you're hitting up on these nicknames, but I want to say something.
No.
You have your NFL team as your name. Don't call in because you named yourself that. That's not a real nickname. You know what I mean? Raider Rob and all these. That's not a real nickname. You didn't get that as a little kid. You earned your name as a little kid.
There is something to be said that you've earned your nickname at some point. But yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, those are the real nicknames earned. But when you name yourself after your NFL, I'm sorry, bro. You didn't have homies that cared for you.
All right, Ruben, get out.
I got 3 nicknames, Rome. So,
okay.
You know what I mean? I got Mr. G from the little kids when I do field trips and stuff. You know what I mean? You know,
okay.
I got Coach. You know what I mean? And I got Bear. You know what I mean? My boys like to call me Bear because I'm big and hairy. You know what I mean?
All right, Ruben.
So, hey, I just say it like it is, bro. If you got to put the fish list out there, I'll put my hairy part out there too, bro.
Oh, gosh. Get out of here.
Later, bro.
Lost his mind. What's your nickname? RD42547. How did you get it? Yo, Rome. My nickname is Ashtray. I got that name because I used to scavenge the ashtrays looking for roaches to smoke. Blaze it. Oh, that's great. RD42547. Like I said, what's your nickname and how'd you get it? Oh, nicknames, right? What is your nickname and how did you get it? 842-547-7. Hey, Romeo. My nickname from my ex-wife was Daddy or Poppy when she was mad at me, but when she wasn't mad at me, but when she was, it was a you know what. Can I just tell you, by the way, and I'm just going to say this. Any man out there who wants his girl to call him daddy or poppy, you got some real insecurities, bro. You should see a therapist for that. And any woman that's willing to do that, yeah, you got some real insecurities, and you need to see a therapist for that. All right, 842-547-7. Rome, I nicknamed my sisters Mo, Curly, and Larry. Oh, the Three Stooges. That's hilarious. All right, 842-547-7. Rome, when I was a kid, I was a little troublemaker. I got the name Menace. Oh, yeah. Dennis the Menace. Absolutely, right? All right, I think I know a Dennis that we call Menace. I think his name's Dennis, and we call him Dennis the Menace, I think. Yeah, nicknames are great, man. For the most part, that's how you know somebody loves you, when they give you a good nickname.
What's going on, Ron Chili Gilly?
What
My two nephews, when they were little, Philip and Ernie, I named them the Malachi brothers.
The who?
Remember that from the Happy Days?
Oh, yeah.
And they were in the... so I named them the Malachi brothers. So one day they called me up at about 8 o'clock at night, and they said, "Hey, Theo." And I said, "Yeah, what's up?" "Hey, we're the Malachi brothers, right?" And I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "Which one am I?" And I go, "Oh, you're Rocco. You're Rocco." And he goes, "Oh," and they started laughing. "Okay, we'll see you."
Later, brother.
Later. Good morning, Al. What's going on?
Good morning, Ron. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. What's up?
Are you can the nicknames be like ones that we hated too? Because I have one that I hated. So when I was born, I have an older brother, a year older than me. So when I was born, my mom was trying to teach him how to say baby girl. And it would never come out right. So it ended up where he would say Billy Goat. And let me tell you, it was okay when he would say it growing up, because he was small, so I understood why it would come out. He couldn't say baby girl, he would say Billy Goat.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, I have I'm not going to say names, but I have an aunt, uncle, and some families that they would say it to me, because eventually I told my older brother, "Can you please just call me sister or my name or something?"
Yeah.
Because I hated it. Because my own family, they would tease me and they would make me cry, and they would call me Billy Goat on purpose, and I'm like, but I hated it so much. And so at one point, I got old enough, and I'm like, "Stop calling me that. I'm going to stop coming around."
Yeah. Hey, look, there is no bigger bully than a Mexican family.
No, and honestly. And if you ask me to this day, do I see them? No.
That's what I was saying. If you grew up in a big Mexican family, ain't nobody going to bully you in school, because you already done heard it before you got there.
No, yes, very much. I was like, that's it. I'm putting a stop to it. But
All
I
right.
hated it.
All right, Billy Goat. We'll talk to you later.
No, Romeo!
All right, 842-547-7. Damn, Rome. Ruben's a big old hater, and let him know nobody cares if his nickname is Winnie the Pooh or Big G. What is Big G stand for? Big Goofy? Let these old guys live out their dream. Hey, Rome, that's cold, Billy Goat. Why? That's funny to me. No way, Romeo. My nickname was Midget, Shorty. That means those kids didn't like me. It could have been. Yeah, I get it. Like I said, sometimes you got bullied with a nickname, but she was, but for the most part, man, people who love you give you a nickname, especially if you're Mexican. Everybody got a nickname, Mexican family. Hey, good morning, Romeo. What I'm wondering is how coronavirus stalker got her nickname. It's a very good question. I have no idea. All right. 842-547-7. Hey, Romeo, I know you're, this is a little bit off subject, but I was hoping you can answer a question for me. My wife and I, we're in the car right now, and I want her to hear your answer. So yesterday, I got off work early before my wife. I came home. I took the dogs to the backyard. I got me a couple of cold beers, and I was just sitting on the patio listening to some music with the dogs. When my wife got home, I had about a 6-pack already. When my wife got home, I had about a 6-pack. She looked at me like I was an alcoholic, saying, "You're already drinking." And okay, so what's your question? I said, "No, I'm sitting out there with the dogs having a cold one. It's a beautiful day." So what's the problem? I don't know what. My answer is no, you're not an alcoholic because the dogs are out there. Okay? And I'm going to tell you, and I think that's what you're asking me. I hope that's what you're asking me. So you and your wife, you said your wife's listening right now. You're wrong. Okay? My man got off work early. He didn't go to a bar. He went and sat on his back patio with his dogs and a 12-pack. That's not alcoholism. That's just my man enjoying his life, okay? I saw something one time that said, where did I see it at? I don't know where I saw it at. I saw something that said, you're not drinking alone if your dogs are home. Your dogs can be drinking partners, okay? I'm just letting you know that. So for all of you out there that are going to sit, because it's beautiful. Baker's patio weather right now for Bakersfield. In fact, I might go sit on my patio and have a couple of cold ones here when I get out of here. But it's patio weather. And as long as you got your dogs with you and you're drinking, you ain't drinking alone. I'm going to go wherever I saw that sign at. That's rule number 1. And if your wife can't get home earlier than you, then she needs to get over it. And you can quote me on that. Well, you said she's listening. So quote me on that. All right? Let me hear. 842-547-7. Hey, Romeo, the rule of my grandma's house is you can only drink if you've gone to work and have eaten. You know what's funny? It's funny that you say that about the rule, because I have a rule. If I actually have to do some sort of labor job, I mean, you guys know, I sit in here, I talk to you guys all morning in a studio with 72 degrees. I mean, the hardest part of my day at work is getting up and walking to the coffee maker and, making a cup of coffee. But if I actually have to do some work, and I do, sometimes I got friends that do labor jobs and I'll help them, or I got to mow a lawn, or if I got to do something that's labor intensive, I will always have a beer afterwards. No matter what, I will always have, beers after doing it, because that's just the rule. If I got to work like a man, I'm going to drink like one. So a guy did text me, and he was asking me a question about his wife. Apparently they're listening together, so he wanted her to hear this. He said that he got off work early yesterday. So he went to the back patio, got himself a 12-pack, started drinking some beers. The dogs are hanging out. And I thought it was funny. I guess he said when his wife came home, she treated him like he was some sort of alcoholic sitting on the patio. You're not an alcoholic. The dogs are home. Your dogs, by the way, are drinking partners, okay? Now, they may not drink beer, but your dogs will sit with you while you drink beer and be with you. Okay, as far as I'm concerned, like I said, I saw some meme or dish towel or something that said, if the dogs are home, you're not drinking alone. Okay? So, yeah, you're good, man. Already 42547-7. Rome, sounds more like the wife is mad because he didn't save her a beer. I mean, maybe that's true. Maybe that's true, man. Did you save her a beer, bro? All right. Hey, Rome, I got to agree with you. There's nothing better than doing work in the garage with the door open on a hot summer day and having a nice cold beer. Well, I mean, everybody has a rule, right? When it comes to drinking, like you said, if you ain't working or you ain't eating at grandma's house, you can't drink, right? I mean, but I'm going to drink whenever I want, but if it's a Tuesday and somebody goes, hey, we got to go change a tire, or we got to go do something in the garage, or we got to go somebody calls me. I got a buddy who's a welder. He's got a damn near shop in his garage, right? If he says, hey, can you help me with this? I'm going to go over there. But after I'm done working, it's beer time. No matter what day of the week it is, no matter how early I got to get up, if I'm doing a labor intensive anything, I'm having a beer afterwards. RD42547-7. And I'm going to tell you right now, just based on the fact that the guy said he got off work early, yesterday was a beautiful day to sit on your patio, have a couple of cold ones and relax. But I'm going to tell you this. They should make it a law in Bakersfield on days like today, tomorrow, yesterday. I mean, we have a small window in Bakersfield that's patio weather, okay? We have a small window. It should be a law that you can't tell nobody nothing when they out there sitting on a patio drinking, okay? It should. Your wife or your husband shouldn't be able to tell you a damn thing. And if they do, they should be arrested because we have a small patio window weather, small patio weather window in Bakersfield. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I'm gonna go to the patio right now and eat and drink and hang out because we're there, baby. So yeah, it should be a law that we have to do it. That you should have to go sit on a patio during this small window.
Romeo in the morning.
Every morning.
On Hot 94.1.